Hey everybody! Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we want to talk about all things relationship-wise. And not just relationships, but specifically 10 tips on how to have a healthy, happy relationship or marriage, or both.
Or both. And we know that we haven't been married for a very long time. We've only been married for a year, and you're probably wondering, what are they going to talk about? They've only been married for a year.
We're pros, guys. Come on.
We're not.
Just kidding. No, we're not.
But it's good to learn from both the young married couples and also the old ones. You can get like really good information from both couples.
Yeah, so the old, they have like the experience and like the years behind them, but they kind of get comfortable sometimes and they aren't like actively working in their relationship. They kind of get used to things. Mm-hmm. But on a young side, we are learning from mistakes. We want to make things right. We want to keep that honeymoon phase going.
Yeah, and we're still figuring each other out. Wait, what do you like? What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years, something like that?
Exactly. So we would love to hear all of your suggestions and comments down below. But let's get right into it, babe. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Keep my hands on myself. Think I'll dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Kiss my little baby girl isn't me. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still.
And before we get started, we want to give a what?
A shout out
to our favorite YouTube couple. They're young, they're married, they are beautiful.
And they're from South Africa.
And they are from South Africa. And the name of their channel is Shoutout Simbe. We hope you guys go and check them out. They're really awesome. And make sure that you subscribe and come back and tell us what you think about them.
Yeah, I know the husband personally. He's a super nice guy. He's genuine and he's real. And I think it's great for our South African viewers to get to see those healthy young couples and to learn from them and to grow with them. So go check them out down below. We have a list of 10 things that will help your marriage or your relationship be happy and healthy. Now these aren't in a specific order, but we feel like the first one is the most important in a relationship, and that is communication. Communication, guys, is everything in a relationship. Like, what do we mean about communication? I mean, communicate about every single thing. Communicate about money, about how you're gonna spend it, what you're gonna do with it, about what you need. Communicate about your feelings, communicate about just your stresses. Just communicate about everything, guys. It's gonna help our relationship so much.
Yeah, I had to learn as well to communicate because I was not good in that. But Christian did help me like to be able to express myself in words. Obviously my partner is not going to assume that I'm upset because he did this and that. I used to like bottle up and keep everything in, but now I'm saving us a lot of stress by opening up and talking and saying, Christian, you did this and it bothered me, or like it offended me, and then we put it all on the table and then we solve it. And we have came up with something recently that we're gonna find the problem together instead of
fighting each other.
And that has been helping a lot too. So that's also part of communication.
And I think a big part of not only communicating is how you communicate with each other. Like, people can communicate where they can yell at each other, that's not gonna solve anything. Or you can like talk down to the person, or you can be like passive aggressive. So I think how you communicate and then also when you communicate is really important. Like, if you're busy caught up in your emotions or feelings, which happens for everyone, like even me, even Ziya, everyone really. And if you're caught up in those emotions, you're not going to communicate very well, and you might say things that you'll regret. So I think when you communicate is very important.
Yeah. Guys, it might not seem like a really big deal, but it is a huge deal in marriage and in relationships in general. So Christian loves to be cold, and I love feeling warm and cozy and all of that. So in the car, it's a constant battle.
Always.
With the air conditioning. Christian would want it super cold.
I'll turn it one way and then switch from the other way.
And then we would fight over that. But we've learned how to deal with that now that we've learned our communication skills.
And so our tip isn't air conditioning, guys. Our tip is compromising. Yep. So me and Ziya had to learn how to compromise with the heat or the cold. And sometimes she gets her way, sometimes I get my way. And that's what compromising is all about. It's either me giving way for her needs or her giving way for my needs.
Yeah.
Or if that doesn't work, then we meet somewhere in the middle. We find common ground. And so compromising is important because you can compromise about little things like the air conditioning, but also it's important to compromise about big things as well. And so for us, a big compromise we had to do
was me moving to America.
Yeah,
it was a really big compromise.
Yeah, it was whether we wanted to live in South Africa or America. So that itself was a compromise. I actually offered for us to live in South Africa, and maybe we have plans to someday live there. But Ziya was very great and generous, and she offered to compromise to move to America. And I know it's been a big struggle for her, a big stress, and she'll be rewarded for that. I promise that. We're gonna live in South Africa someday.
Better.
Yeah, otherwise I'm dead.
I have something that I call me time. I love my me time. It's very important for me to have my me time.
What she means by that is important to have our individual time away from each other.
Yeah.
So
I need to miss you.
Yeah, for sure. You do. And it was kind of a unique learning experience for us because our relationship at the beginning was all long distance. And so then when we were finally together and with each other, we basically were never apart from each other.
24/7 is us together.
We're always doing stuff together. And eventually we realized that it's not going to be healthy.
Yeah, but I remember the first time I suggested it, Christian took offense to this. And I was like, Christian, can we
Did I really?
Yeah, you did. I was like, why? And then he seemed so upset, and I had to explain to him that we need time away from each other. I need you to go and play your games, and I'll be busy scrolling over my Facebook and feeds and stuff. And be a girl, and do my nails, whatever.
It's because Ziya's so beautiful. I don't want to be away from you.
No, I have to.
I don't know. I don't want to lose you, girl.
No, you're not gonna lose me. It's just I need to regenerate.
Yeah, you want to miss me. You want that.
I want to miss you.
That we want to be with each other, kind of thing. Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of a weird way to stay healthy in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hard for me at first. I'm not gonna lie. And I like having that partner in crime, that best friend. But I've learned that it's a lot happier and a lot more healthy when you have that time away from each other.
He's basically a twin. He just wants me to be next to him all the time.
I'm basically a twin, but you literally are a twin. You've converted me.
Guys, I remember before I met Christian, I was like, when I get married, I want a serious guy. I want somebody who's serious. Just I don't want my friends to laugh at him. I don't want I just want him to be a serious, straight up guy. And no,
that's not me. I mean, I'm serious, but very far and few in between.
Christian is funny. Christian is loud, and I was like, what did I do to myself? But I honestly think I would have been miserable if I went that route with a serious person and all of that, because Christian makes me laugh all the time, and I'm happy with that. I was like, why did I make that choice from the beginning? Why?
You're welcome. I helped you see the light.
Oh.
Yeah, so our fourth tip is it's important to have fun and laugh in a relationship.
It's very important.
And I feel like that really draws back onto the relationship being built off being friends, right? If it's just built off sexual or physical, that's how it started off or begins, that will fade away. And then when the hard times come,
it's gonna tremble.
You'll be miserable. Yeah, so me and Ziya, I feel like we're very lucky. We have that best friend vibe.
Yeah,
going between us.
We are friends before everything.
So when that romantic what's not there, we can just sit back and laugh and be silly with each other.
Yeah,
play games, play tag, and chase her, or wrestle her.
Play Among Us.
It's so important to know your spouse or your partner's love language. And so one thing I've learned is that the way that I show love isn't necessarily the way that Ziya wants to receive it or the way she needs it. If that makes sense. So for example, I show my love through being together and quality time, and then also through words of affirmation, saying I love you or you're beautiful or look nice today, those kind of things. But Ziya doesn't necessarily need it that way. Not that she doesn't appreciate that, but you need it a different way, right?
Yeah, and there was a period of time in our marriage I was always complaining that I don't feel like he's showing me enough, but he was doing all of these things
what do you mean? I'm doing it.
He's doing it, but I'm not feeling it, and it's because he wasn't showing me love the way I receive love.
Yeah.
And that is through like writing little notes and like gifts and stuff. But I don't want it to be a fancy gift. Just grab a paper and like write something.
Or like a flower.
Like
saying,
just
I love
pick
you.
up something. That's like how I feel loved.
Or
like,
through physical touch as well.
And physical touch. Hug me, hold me close to you. I want that.
Yeah, so you definitely need to learn your spouse's love language, and you need to like consciously try and show it that way if it's not natural. And so like it wasn't wrong of me to show my love that way.
No, it wasn't.
But it just wasn't the right way that you needed it. And it's not like my fault or your fault, it's just how we are as human beings, it's how we developed. And I know that mine is, I like to have words of assurance. Yeah. Like, you're doing great, sweetie.
Tell me I'm handsome.
Tell me I'm pretty.
In marriage and in relationships in general, it's very, very important to have that safe space with your partner to talk about things that scare you and your insecurities.
And be vulnerable with them, right?
Yeah, and be vulnerable and put those walls down for your partner to be able to reach out, to reach to you and help you figure things out. It's not easy to be vulnerable, obviously.
Yeah, it's really important to be emotionally intimate with your partner and to share those things with them. But on the other end, it's also important to be that safe space for the person to come to and want to come to you. Like if they are like feeling insecure about something and they come to you and then you respond with like, no, you shouldn't do that, or like they get angry at you, and they're not going to want to be open with you in the future. That's going to hurt like the emotional relationship or emotional.
The worst side of the relationship.
Yeah, emotional side of the relationship, exactly. And so it's a two-sided thing that's really important. So you can be like as vulnerable and open and honest as you want, but if your partner's not doing their part, then it's not healthy. I don't remember where I heard this from, but I learned that as an individual, like you can only grow and progress so far until you get to a point where you can't anymore, like can't improve as a person. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this and people disagree, but once then you like get into like a committed relationship or marriage, then you can grow and improve even more. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's things about you that you can like kind of get away with by being alone. But once you're with someone all the time or you're around someone, then those things come out. They can't hide it anymore.
Yep.
And like your spouse is there to like show you like you do this and like it's not healthy, it's not good, you need to change.
Yep.
They keep you accountable in a way.
Yeah, they keep you accountable. And it's very important for your partner to criticize. There's also like healthy criticism.
Yeah.
You be very careful. There's unhealthy and healthy criticism, but if your partner criticizes you in a healthy manner, then it's okay. And because we have those habits that our spouses may not like, that we may need to correct, and because we're here to help each other grow, so we need to criticize each other in a healthy manner.
Yeah, so our 7th tip isn't necessarily criticize each other, but it's being willing to accept criticism or like correction. And so that's super hard because as human beings we naturally are defensive, and this girl right here, I know she's very stubborn.
I'm very stubborn. And
which is a good thing sometimes, but sometimes it's not.
I stand my ground. I said, don't correct me while I'm in the moment. Wait for me to calm down and then correct me.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna see from your point of view, you know?
Like, babe, you're doing this and it's like not very nice to this person, or like you need to change that, like you're not aware of how it affects people's emotions. So there's lots of different ways to do it, and you just gotta find out what works for your relationship and what works for you.
It is okay not to have it all figured out before you get married. It is absolutely okay. I remember when Christian and I started talking about marriage, I don't know if you remember this.
No, I remember.
But I told Christian that I don't have everything figured out yet. Please wait for me. Give me 3 years and then we can take it from there.
Like you wanted your career, your education,
I want
to be
everything
like,
to be in place before I committed myself to him. But I realized that it's okay for me to start from nothing and grow with my husband.
And so that
create something with him.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our tip, is to grow together, whether that's from the beginning or that's 25 years and on. So it's okay to like grow from nothing financially. It's okay to like grow that family from scratch. Like I think if anything, like those hard years where you're struggling and like it's hard, like that's where you grow the closest. And then you can look back on and be grateful for. So we're not saying it's wrong for you to like want to have like things figured out.
A career and school and all that. It's okay.
But it's also okay to do that together in a relationship, because then you have each other to help each other and support each other. And then I've seen like marriages where like they've been married for like 25 years or more, and then they get divorced, and you're like, how does that happen? Like, how do they last that long? And then things like
don't work out.
things don't work out. And I know there's a lot of reasons why that happens, but I feel like a big part of it is like people slowly grow away from each other, right? And so whether that be like they just aren't communicating, like they don't have like those same goals or that same thing they're working towards, or
everything that they dream of, like the aspirations are.
It's just slowly separating over time to the point where like, whoa, like we are different people, like we shouldn't be together anymore. And so it's important to like not only grow at the beginning, but also to continue to grow like all the way until you're 90 years old and we're in wheelchairs and oxygen bags and our deathbeds. Honey, I'm gonna keep growing with you. Can I just say that? Let's stay in the video.
You're gonna get fired with this one, I'm sorry.
Every relationship is gonna have conflict, arguments, disagreements, and problems.
But one thing you need to realize that your spouse is your family, not your enemy.
Yeah, that one's huge. And so every relationship has those conflicts, those fights, and it's really important that you are actively working to resolve or like actually working to prevent those things to happen. But then if they do happen, make sure that you don't get caught in the heat of the moment. Right?
That's true.
And maybe this applies to me and Ziya. Me and Ziya are very passionate people. We are very in tune with our emotions, and so sometimes that's good and it's bad, right? For sure. And so we've learned that how to solve conflict and when to solve conflict is very important.
Yeah, you know, when you're single, all you think about is that I need to protect myself, I need to look out for myself, it's all about me, it's me against the world.
Yeah.
But when you're married, it's about this union. I need to protect me and my husband. My husband is going to be the protector of us. But when you're fighting, you just like...
It's confusing then, because then you're like, wait a minute, or like, we're supposed to be together.
We're supposed to be together, but like, we're not. Are you my enemy? And then, you want to fight me?
You want to fight me? No, we don't do that, guys. We don't do that.
During arguments, you might think that your husband is your enemy, but they're not. You just need to find a common ground in whatever the argument is about, and sit down and talk.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very important to also look at how you like work through arguments or disagreements. I know that there's the obvious side where like there's physical abuse or emotional abuse, and if that's the case, then you need to like look at it with your partner, and if they're not willing to change, then you need to think about yourself and protecting yourself.
There's this other thing that I like that Christian does when we have arguments. He leaves the room and let me be by myself and like breathe and like, and sometimes we all will be like just a small thing like, why did we argue about that? You stepped on my toe. No, you did. It happened literally yesterday. I'm like, you stepped on my toe. And then the moment he left,
You're exposing our secrets. Why did we fight over that? So yeah, so that's why I leave, is to like kind of diffuse the situation, or just like look, like let's just gather our thoughts and look at this in a more logical way.
Yeah. So, did we just say that?
I don't know. We just exposed our secrets.
Yeah, guys, we do fight. Not like fight. We know how to fight.
Every relationship has that. They all have disagreements and conflict, and we want to be as real as possible.
Yeah, but always remember that fight the problem,
not each other.
Because
we're best friends in love forever.
Yeah, and yesterday we fought my toe because he stepped on it.
We fought about your toe. Guys, she still has her toe. She's okay. I love you. You know you wanna what? Subscribe. You know you wanna what? Subscribe. Hit that like button. Do it right now. Woo, woo, woo.
Do it, guys.
Just do it, guys. We did that song just for you.